I'll tell you what I think about some of the things as we go through the podcast. I'll put it up on the screen, and I'll tell my final ideas at the end. But it's hilarious.
All right, listeners, buckle up, because today we're doing things a little differently. We're cracking open a health mystery, and you're the star of the show. Get ready to decode, because we're diving deep into your blood work.
It's like having a personalized health map. We can see what your body's been up to, what it's telling you. We're here to decipher the clues and see what we can uncover.
Exactly. We've got your lab reports right here from Laboratorio Clinico in Cali, Colombia, September 7th, 2024. Happy belated birthday, by the way. Looks like a pretty thorough workup. Hematology, lipids, thyroid, even some special tests in the mix.
We're talking the full detective kit to get to the bottom of things.
You got it. So are you ready to put those detective hats on and start analyzing some clues?
Let's jump right in. First up, cholesterol. Your total cholesterol is a bit high, 241 milligrams TDL, a little outside the ideal range.
Okay, so not necessarily a reason to hit the panic button, right? There's more to the story.
Always. We've got to look at the breakdown. And this is where it gets interesting. Your HDL, the good cholesterol. That's looking fantastic. 78 milligrams DL. That's like having a super efficient cleaning crew working hard in your arteries.
That's got to be good news for your heart, right?
Absolutely. It's a great sign. But we also have to consider your LDL, the bad cholesterol. And that was a bit elevated at 146 milligram DL.
Okay, so that's where we need to start asking some questions. Like, what can we do about it? Asking for a friend, of course.
Of course. So think of it like this. It's less about drastic overhauls and more about sustainable changes. Diet plays a big role here. Ever considered the Mediterranean diet?
Oh, yeah. Tons of fruits and veggies. Healthy fats, right?
Exactly. That kind of approach can really move the needle on those cholesterol levels. And never underestimate the power of a little movement.
Even a brisk walk a few times a week can make a difference.
You got it. All right. Ready to switch gears? Let's talk thyroid. Your TSH levels are looking good, right? Within the normal range.
That's the one that tells your thyroid how much hormone to produce.
You got it.
Right.
But your T3 is just slightly high, and so is your T4, though not quite as much. And then there's your antithyroglobulin antibodies.
Okay, I gotta admit, that one's a mouthful. And they're high.
Quite high, actually. So this is where we have to think about what these antibodies might be trying to tell us. Elevated antibodies like this are often linked to Hashimoto's thyroiditis,
Which is?
an autoimmune disorder. Essentially, your immune system gets a little confused and starts attacking your thyroid gland.
So even though the TSH looks good, those antibodies plus the slightly elevated T3 and T4 are like those little red flags you see in detective movies.
You've got it. And we have to pay attention to those clues. It's all connected, right? Just like a good mystery.
Like a good mystery, sometimes those little red flags can lead to the biggest breakthroughs.
Absolutely. It keeps things interesting, that's for sure. And speaking of interesting, let's move on to your blood sugar.
All right, so your blood glucose is a touch high, 84 milligram DL. That caught my eye, I have to admit.
I bet it did. But hold on, before we jump to any conclusions, we got to factor in your HbA1c.
The HbA1c, remind me what that one tells us again.
That's the long-term blood sugar tracker. Gives us the big picture. And yours is looking great, 5.2%. So think of it this way. The slightly elevated glucose reading is like a single snapshot, right? But the HbA1c, that's like a whole photo album showing a much broader picture of what's been going on.
Gotcha. So nothing to worry about, but probably worth keeping an eye on those numbers, especially with the cholesterol we were talking about earlier, right?
You're spot on. It's all connected. It's all part of the big health picture. Your doctor might have some simple tweaks to keep things on track. Now, ready for something really interesting?
Hit me with it.
Let's talk about your peptido-C level. It's coming in significantly lower than the reference range, which is definitely something we want to explore a little further.
Peptido-C. Okay, confession time. I'm drawing blank here.
Think of it like this. Peptido-C is like a little messenger from your pancreas, giving us intel on how well it's producing insulin.
So if it's low, that could mean my pancreas is struggling to keep up with insulin production.
It could be a sign that something's up. Yeah. It's like a little whisper from your body saying, hey, let's take a closer look here. While a low peptido-C on its own might not be a major red alert, it's definitely something to bring up with your doctor, especially considering some of the other results we've seen today.
They might want to do some more digging with additional tests, right?
Exactly. Better safe than sorry, as they say. And that's what makes these deep dives so valuable. It's all about connecting those dots, putting those puzzle pieces together, and you're doing a great job of it.
Because without all the pieces, we don't get the full picture. Speaking of which, we still have one last piece to uncover in your blood work puzzle. And it just might be the most intriguing one yet. All right, we're back. We've explored some interesting clues in your blood work, learned about your cholesterol, your thyroid, even got a message from your pancreas. But we're not quite done yet. There's one last piece of the puzzle we got to fit in.
And this one involves a little bit of detective work, a little bit of calendar checking.
Oh, this is my kind of puzzle. Lay it on me. What are we looking at?
Remember those lab reports? The date on them. September 7th, 2024.
Of course, just a few days before your birthday.
Exactly. And sometimes those birthday celebrations, as fun as they are, can shake things up a bit when it comes to our blood work.
Wait a minute, are you suggesting what I think you're suggesting?
Maybe just a little. Those delicious birthday meals, maybe a slice of cake or two, they can definitely cause a little temporary blip in certain markers, especially glucose.
So that slightly elevated blood glucose we talked about, it could be the birthday effect.
It's definitely possible. It's all about context. It doesn't change the overall picture of your health. You're clearly doing great. But it's a good reminder that these results are snapshots in time.
Like a single frame in a whole movie.
Exactly. And sometimes we need to watch the whole film to understand the story. Your medical history, lifestyle, those birthday celebrations, it all factors in.
That's such a good point. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this. Think about what optimal health means to you. How do these clues, these insights from your blood work, empower you to take charge of your well-being?
It's been a pleasure joining you on this deep dive. And remember, knowledge is power. The more you know about your body, the better you can advocate for your health.
That's a wrap on today's episode, listeners. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of We Do. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep those detective hats handy. You never know when those health mysteries might pop up.
I'm curious, what did you guys think of that podcast? That's totally crazy. So the voice is AI. I did the rest of the video. The voice is the AI part. Nuts. By the way, if you don't understand like the cholesterol levels of someone that eats a low carb diet, I wouldn't worry about those. I wouldn't worry about any of my tests actually. I just wanted to show you what AI thought. And I thought there was some good points there, and I thought there were some off points because obviously it's how the computer is programmed, but oh my God, how ridiculous. Okay, let me know what you think. I thought it was funny. Hope you thought it was funny or learned something, because there's some stuff you could learn there. I definitely don't follow a Mediterranean diet. Okay, bye.